now that our our parts numbered individually here. Um, we numbered 1 is our bottom block, 2 is our top block, and then our post here is numbered 3. But we want to create a parts list, or it's also referred to as a bill of materials that lets us know what are these, what's the name of these parts here. So we're still in Annotate tab. Let's move over here to the table section and select Parts List. Okay. And um, while this menu is up, if we hover our mouse over here to the assembly, you'll see these red dotted lines that's outlining our assembly. And just left click anywhere on those dotted lines and it should disappear. And then when it disappears, then come over here to this Parts List menu and select OK. And so you'll see the preview of the parts list that's being generated. And we'll place this up here in the top left corner. Go ahead and select or left click and boom. Now we've created a parts list. Now you'll notice that the item that we have, by default, it has item, quantity, part number, and description. So item number 1 is the bottom block, item number 2 is the top block, and 3 is the post. That's um, that's all great. And these names, where these names came from, they came from the actual part files. So if I still have mine open, so we call this top block, bottom block, and post. And because the presentation, drawing files, assembly files, they all interact with each other, it was able to pull the file names from the individual parts and place them in here. But this is kind of, this doesn't make any sense. This says part number, but there's names here. Then I have a column that says description. It's blank here. So let's customize this parts list a little bit further. So if you hover your mouse on any of the lines in the part list, it turns a different color. In my case, it's red. Then right click, go down about halfway, and then select Edit Parts List. All right. So then you see these categories that we have here in our parts list: item, quantity, part number, and description. Up here across the top, we want to choose the option of column chooser. Left click. And so here they are again. These selected properties are what we have in our column. And what we want to do is, let's see, we don't want description. So we'll left click on it to highlight it and remove that. And then part number, we'll remove this also. And then what we want to add is, let's see, material. Yes, they have material. We'll add. And I've already have in here part name, but what you'll have to do is add it. So what you'll do is select new property, and then you click in this box, and then you can type part, and I'll capitalize it. I'll just do it again, part name. Okay, click OK. All right, well, I already have it, so it says it exists, but since you're adding it, you won't get this error. Cancel this. Go down to part name, capital 1, add. Okay. And the order I want these to be in is I want it to go item, and then the quantity, and then the part name, then material. So right here, they're mixed up. So I'm going to highlight part name, and I want to move this up one. So now I have the order that I want. Select OK. And here, I've already, because I've done this already before, I have the parts name listed in here, but I need to make sure that this is adjusted. Item number 1 is not the post. Item number 1 is actually the bottom block. So actually I can fix this now. So make sure item 1 is bottom block. And the material for the bottom block is aluminum. Okay. And then item number 2 is the top block. So you can click in here and type in top block. And the material for top block, it's copper. And then item number 3 is, oh, excuse me, post. And then for post, we said that's gold. And we'll click apply. And you see that our parts list has been updated. And then click OK. And you can resize this. I'll resize it so it's all single line. And then you can move it. Left click on it and drag it to where you want to. All right. All right. And so there it is. Again, like, if it doesn't seem like it's legible, when you're looking at it on the screen, it's just because these drawing files are intended to be printed out on uh, um, a large sheet of paper. Okay, so don't worry about if it's not legible. Just make sure that everything is spelt right and you have appropriate columns in your parts list.